As many of you are probably aware at this point, I consider myself a connoisseur of good mission trees. A real enjoyer of fine, handcrafted experiences that are designed specifically to give unique events, mechanics, and flavor to a particular country with a specific goal in mind. After 7,000 hours in this game, it is really the only thing that keeps bringing me back with a smile on my face. And today is going to be no different, because we're playing Post-Phenom, the 1.3 Early Access Con of Cons update. I don't actually know when this is coming out, so don't ask me, but eventually. Before we hop right into which country we're going to be playing today, you probably can already tell from the thumbnail and title, but it's important to explain what's even going on here. What is Post-Phenom? Well, as you can see, we are definitely not in Kansas anymore. Things are very different, because in this timeline, it was actually Carthage that won the, I think, First Punic War, which would of course make the most sense, given at the time that Rome had pretty much no military navy, and Carthage was a naval power. So the idea is, what if Carthage instead became de facto hegemon of the Mediterranean Sea? Not the whole thing, of course. Carthage was more interested in trading than owning stuff directly. But in this timeline, they did make a pretty large empire that eventually collapsed, leaving a bunch of successor states, a large religious and cultural impact on the world, and more importantly, it's so far back in time that you can pretty much make whatever you want with this mod. And as you can see, the creators of the mod have done just that, including the most recently updated region in the whole mod, the Steppes. There's a lot for us to pick from, but today we're going to go with Bulgar, for a couple of reasons. Now, we may be a few hundred years late compared to what happened with the Bulgar tribes and how they migrated in our timeline. But what's most interesting to me about this mission tree is not only the fact that it has two paths. There's the left one on this side, which is much shorter for, I think, a very good reason. But the path that we're going to be following today, the migration path, actually involves you migrating. Like, you just give up all of your territory back home and migrate to where Bulgaria pretty much is. And aside from playing any of the tribes in the New World, there's pretty much nothing in any EU4 game that's like this. Only mods or weird convoluted strategies are going to give you this kind of experience. At the very least, there's no mission tree which supports this kind of behavior in vanilla. But enough yapping from me about mission trees, let's actually get into this one. To start off with, we're going to need to raise our army size to 100% of the force limit, and it doesn't hurt to hire the free company, considering we have no professionalism. The free company will be cheaper and won't take any manpower. We do also require a general, and looking at the stats of our heir versus our current ruler, I think we're just going to turn our ruler into the general. And we do need a few rivals. Not that these rivals are really going to stick around, to be honest, since we will be moving away from them, but we might as well rival them anyway. As for the estates, we can hand out religious state, and we'll take oversight. The tribes can have whatever makes them happy. That should just about do it. I'll see some land, I won't take any. Considering what I plan to do with this country, we are going to go with yellow shamanism instead of black shamanism, which will give us tolerance of heathens. Oh yeah, more context for this region. There is basically an entire new mechanic added, the Ilk Khan. It's like a hybrid between the Empire of China and the HRE, but like much closer to the Empire of China. You go through a bunch of reforms, eventually you get the ability to integrate tributaries, and then also establish the Ilkhanate, which is like a whole new tag. And if you wanted to, our left path actually involves doing that, I'm pretty sure, where we become the Ilkhan. I'm pretty sure the left path is like you're supposed to unite the Horse Lords, which gives you new missions, and then you become the Ilkhanate. That's this side, which is why it's much shorter, I think. In any case, that's not the path we'll be doing. If you want to play Bulgar yourself, there is a whole new path you can discover if you want to. In our case, now that we've finished the Call of the Steppes, we get a tributary CB on two different countries, and depending on which of these two countries you subjugate first, you will unlock or lock one part of the mission tree. So we need to turn these guys into a tributary, and then if we want to, after finishing this mission, it will lock this path, and we can go and turn this guy into a tributary anyway. But you'll see later that that's maybe not the greatest idea. So at the very least, for the plans that we have made, we're going to invade this guy. They do outnumber us, so it is essentially in our interest to divide and conquer. But again, this is EU4, so we can actually just siege down one person and then get them to leave. It's not a big deal. To put it plainly, we have forts. They do not have forts. So one battle and one short siege later, we can get the ally out of the war. Since they're a rival, we might as well humiliate them while we're here. We can't get a 100% because I frankly do not care to fight them, but this'll work. It's a real shame for these guys that I happen to have a navy that could block them off, keep them from crossing. Because that means I get a pretty much free stack wipe whenever I want it. Just like that. We managed to pull off a victory at sea, also grabbing a free galley. And with this last province, that's a 100%. Tributary, full money, and one of your rivalries, and that'll be good. Now that they are an unruly subject, we can finish this mission, which will lock away the Ilkhan mission path. It also gives us perma-claims on Moldavia and Danubia, as well as 20% core creation cost reduction and 10% AE reduction. Not bad, considering we're going to have to use that. In fact, we have practically no reason to not go to war immediately, so we might as well. We can get money and war reps from Krakow, and we'll take all of this land for ourselves. We could, if we wanted to, also raise that, but I kinda don't want to. It's not like we're going to be playing as a horde forever, so I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot a little bit by raising the only power base I'm going to have after I migrate. Now, we do have a slight problem, a problem named Macedonia. They're allied to Dakros, who I need to invade to finish our next mission. Fortunately, they are allied to multiple people, including one on my border. So it would be a relatively simple job to just invade this guy, but actually invade Dakros to break their alliances and then come back in 5 years. After all, I do need to core this stuff, and I can't exactly core all of it. I can only start with the coastline, so I think that gives us something to do in the meantime. Easy stack wipe, and just like that, we can break the alliance. I'll let them keep their other alliances because they're relatively weak, so I don't care that much. And I'll also take war reps as a parting gift. Oh, somebody has a death wish. There you go, wish granted. Oh hey, we have feudalism. Managed to spread to the capital somehow, well that's nice. I guess we should embrace that. No reason not to, considering it is gonna take a while, so might as well. We can grab the admin tech, and then I'll pick up the next 2 techs as well, of course. Keep in mind, of course, I can't actually core any of this stuff if I take it, and not to mention it seems my superiority in the region has led to quite a bit of controversy. So I'm not going to get that much aggressive expansion in this area. I'll just take money, war reps, and this one fort because it's annoying to siege. That's kind of it. I can use this, however, to sell titles, take some land back, and then get a little bit of land from that. With that one core done, I can now core everything in this area. Also, I am hesitating to take a bit of land because I know at some point I will literally lose all of my provinces and claims in the steppe, so I don't actually know how far that counts. Like, is this part of the steppe? It is part of Podolia, which is part of this guy, and they're definitely part of the steppe, right? I have to wisely pick which provinces I'm taking. Oh, right. My allies will also call me into their wars. Yeah. Well, I really have nothing better to do because all of my rivals are kind of too strong for me to just outright invade, except for this guy, but we have a truce with them. It's not like I really have to do anything anyway. Actually, I was wrong, because no guy has one ally. Okay, Khan's dead. New Khan is a 646. Beautiful. We can sell some titles, take some land back, bump up stability by 1. We're still waiting about a year to declare war on this guy. The aggressive expansion has gone down quite a bit. I'm just gonna clean up a few rebels before they fire to make sure that we are unimpeded in our war. Speaking of war, why are you like this? Okay, well, sure, you do you. I'm not gonna worry about that. It's frankly none of my business, and I'm just gonna keep it that way. Truce is up, the boys are ready to go, and, oh right, we are at war technically, aren't we? Well, not anymore. I need to make you a rival before I declare war, otherwise, it would just be a missed opportunity. While I'm here, I'm also going to rival Macedonia, cause why not? Anyway, time for war. Galicia is easy enough to piece out for war reps and money. For the first reform, we're going to take martial society for some more manpower. Aletheia is willing to give up, and this other guy is finally done. Peace out for money and war reps, we really don't care about anything else. And then of course, full annexation. We'll go ahead and core all that up, we don't need to raise it, it's fine. I'll go ahead and finish this mission. It'll give us some permanent claims on the Carpathian Basin. And lucky for us, it seems like somebody is already having a bit of a rough time. This is some absurd level defensiveness. Never in a mod have I ever seen this much fort defense. The castle itself doesn't just provide 33% to the area, but it's also 100% to the province itself. And it starts at level 3. So that means when I take it, it's not going to be as good, but it's still going to be pretty decent. I'm waiting out a little bit for the Renaissance because I feel like it is eventually going to spread to me. In fact, it is already spreading, it's just going to take a little bit longer. But we do have an idea group, and I'm not exactly sure which ideas I'm, in theory, supposed to be taking. As I like to do at the start of campaigns, it's going to be a military idea group, and frankly, let's be honest, it's going to be offensive ideas. They do not make it easy to siege that fort, but on the bright side, it took long enough that we managed to fix a little bit of the coalition. Not a lot, we're still going to have to do some work. I also need to sell a few titles, take some land back, and let that crown land tick up from the previous conquest. And when I said we're going to have to do some work, what I meant is that we're going to have to invade Macedonia. Before we do that though, just to make my life a little bit easier, I am going to swap over to the Hellenic syncretic faith, since we don't currently have one, and I am going to be conquering quite a bit of Hellenic land. Now, with that out of the way, fortunately it seems the divide and conquer strategy is working as well as ever. We've already managed to grab one fort, and we've separated the Macedon army from the rest of their allies on a fort that they were just about to take, so that's just a real shame, you know? Really unfortunate, guys. But, see you later. Oh wow, they actually are doing the Ottoman thing. Okay. Didn't expect that, but that's not a big deal for us. We'll just finish sieging this up real quick. Siege is complete. I can see most of the Macedon army is over here, so I don't want to send too much back home. Actually, who am I kidding? I'll just send the whole thing, why not? Also, the fact that they never grabbed this siege, absolutely streamer luck. You can call me out on that one. Let's see who we can actually get out of this war, though. Achaea's willing to leave, and I don't even know where they are, so I don't care. Yeah, go ahead. Oops, accidentally burned down the capital of the empire. That's a real shame. Anyway, who hasn't done that by accident once or twice? Happens to the best of us. If you're wondering about this general, by the way, just hired this guy because apparently we have insane army tradition. Actually, that makes sense. We've been doing a lot of warring. All right, on time to get our first age objective. I wouldn't mind grabbing Justified Wars. War is over. This is the stuff I want to take. Apparently, if I take too much, the advisors have told me I will be considered a, what's it called? Pariah or something like that. Whatever that means. But basically, a peace deal like this is looking like it's off the table. So instead, we can be nicer and we can take a peace deal like this. And this time, you know what? I've changed my mind. I am gonna burn this stuff down. Can't burn it all down though, because I am going to have to develop at least a little bit. In fact, this would make for a pretty decent capital, but I can't move it yet, so it is what it is. How about I just nudge the development a little bit? Yeah, just enough for the institution to finish fairly quickly. Alright, we have destroyed Macedonia. We gained 5 army professionalism and some really good benefits for the rest of the game. Let's also go ahead, sell some titles, take some land back. And if there are any high-value churches to build in our new territory, then we might as well. Oh yeah, I forgot we can just develop our own capital, and that will allow us to embrace the Renaissance. So, yeah, let's do that. Pretty easy to embrace the institution. I'll grab all these techs, in particular the mill tech because it is tech 6. It's pretty important. Also, there is a coalition that is attempting to form, although there are four people that can join. Maybe a few, you know, there are some random provinces here. Terrifying. Shaking in my boots. Anyway, we have technically finished this mission to embrace civilization. Problem is, I kind of don't want to pick this yet, because, well, first of all, I'm gonna get rid of this guy, he sucks. Second of all, any heir we do get, it would be better spent on them than the guy we currently have. He already has 6 admin, so this will be here waiting for us. We can pick it whenever. See, there you go. 136. A perfect candidate, really. Seems we're good enough friends with the Egyptians to get an alliance. It turns out war is great for the economy, and I am a little bit broke. Plus, I need these provinces over here to finish off this mission, so we might as well go to war. The enemy may have more people, but you know what they don't have? Tech 6. Wow, that is an impressive army. It would be more impressive, though, if any of you had Tech 6, which you don't. So, unfortunately, it's not going to matter. I'm not evil though, I'm only going to take the provinces that I need and a bunch of money, mostly because of the coalition that I would get if I didn't only do these things. Before I do though, I might just peace a few people out separately. Thank you. Okay, now we can peace out. Actually, I've changed my mind. I am going to fully annex this subject. Thank you. And the reason I did that is because this mission will allow us to lose 15 aggressive expansion with every country in Europe. I've confirmed that this mission is going to release all of our territory that is in any region owned by the Mongols, which would be like over here. Meaning that there's literally, I think, one country that we have a CB on that we can actually use, and that's this one. They're already being invaded, but it can't possibly hurt to, like, you know, make it worse for them, right? Oh, and also because, right. This is actually the second day that I'm recording this video, so I booted up the game, and of course that does the Diplo check, so there goes the coalition at least. Yoink. We can go ahead and sell some titles, take some land back, get a little bit from that conquest, and do approximately nothing for the next little while. Well, we're still Tengri for the moment. I should explain the new mechanics because, you know, it's a little bit different, obviously. We have a thing called Tengri Favor. It tells you how to increase it, it tells you how it decreases, and since we have 100, we get 33% raising power, 25% cavalry to infantry ratio, and +1 global prosperity growth. Now this thing on the left is not just an icon, it's actually a button, which I didn't realize for the first little while. But you press the button, you can decide to spend a certain amount of favor and money, which will make one of your estates very happy, the religious nomadic estate. I assume this one is just for tribes, but I don't know actually. I don't have the kind of money to pull off the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I think I'll just stick with like maybe this one. That should be fine. We have to dedicate this celebration to somebody, either the Sky God, the Sulda, ancestors, or the Khan himself. Now, a Khan is pretty good, you know, I'd say it's probably worth celebrating. So we gain 15 prestige, 50 admin points, and we get a couple of bonuses for the next 5 years. I'm not sure what spending more money would get us. Maybe the modifier lasts longer, maybe it's a stronger modifier, maybe we get more points or prestige, I don't know. But at the very least, it is more than a notch above default Tengri in base game EU4. I do somewhat wish that they would, like, update some of the religions in EU4, but I'm pretty sure they're not gonna, like, update EU4 anymore at this point. I don't know. Just as an aside. For reform number 3, we're not really looking for any of the conversion things, or, I mean, this doesn't really matter either. I'll just go for religious unity, that's fine. I am going a little bit off script by invading this guy. But like, if Gaul's not gonna help them, and you know, I do have these truces with everyone else around me that is invadable and might not get me killed, hopefully. I just don't really have a lot of options, and frankly, I'm bored, so that's actually the main motivation. Oh shoot. Well, oh no, the 9-year-old heir with 136 is gonna be replaced by a 662. Oh no! How tragic. Wow, that's a real shame. We have our second idea group already, and out of all the ideas I could pick, I'm actually leaning a little bit towards religious ideas. There are some interesting interactions that we'll see later on for why. The stuff I'm taking is a little bit out of the way, so I don't want to take too much. I'll just take war reps and money for the most part. Besides, I have to save at least some admin for invading Macedonia. Oh, hello there. You're at war with who exactly? That's a lot of people. Why did you do this? Okay, well, I'll join, but I'm gonna try to leave as soon as possible because, frankly, I just don't care that much. In fact, they would let me leave immediately, so I'm just gonna wait for 12 months to pass so I don't lose the 25 prestige, and then I'm out of there. I am nice enough to do 1 siege for them, though. There we go. Let's sell some titles, take some land back, of course. We have quite a few buildings we can spend that on. The truce with Macedonia has finally ended, and I'm pretty sure they still have that penalty from this mission that we inflicted on them. So in all honesty, it should be a breeze. We already have them on the back foot. Problem is, we just can't really cross into here, so we're gonna be stuck here, sieging these mountains, and that'll be fun. Sad state of affairs for Macedonia. They've been exiled to the island of Corfu, and they will remain there for the rest of the war. Or they can try to break free and then just die. I mean, you know, it's up to them. That's it. Back on your island. Get out of here. Oh, free stability. Nice. Well, in that case, I'll bump it up by 1, and then I'll let the free stability tick by, because we do need 2 for this mission. Bypass the fort. I didn't know that. Okay. Zone of control, one of the features of the EU4. It's one of them. Okay, well, I can just stare him down in the face while I siege the fort in front of him. That's fine. Your forts are pathetic, and your weakness offends me. Now perish. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely it. With the king himself getting caught up in that stack wipe, that sucks. That's unfortunate. Now, I won't be taking their capital today, but I will make sure it's nothing but a pile of rubble when I'm done with it. That should just about do it. I'm gonna take all this stuff up here, and a little bit of money. And frankly, I think I will burn it down. Not the gold province, though. I'll keep that. Before finishing this mission, I did want to prepare the prerequisites for a different one, just so I can have everything happen all at once. So first, we form the Kingdom of the Bulgars. As the event states, we're going to lose all of our provinces and claims in the steppes, as well as all of our tributaries. It just gives the territory to... I don't even know who this is. The main point, though, is that we become Bulgaria. Nicopolis becomes a new capital, we become the Bulgar culture, and we start spreading it in our provinces. Also, we gain new traditions and ambitions, and we don't actually get the choice, we just get them. Or maybe we don't. I don't know. I let a month pass by, maybe there are no ideas, I don't know. Main point is, we had to finish that mission to finish this mission. Went ahead and just allied this guy to make sure we could finish that. So, we get to decide, well actually, no. We don't get to decide. Either we become Hellenic, or we become Punic. And those are the two options, and if we don't pick either of them, well, actually, no, we can't just not pick them, because this is a prerequisite mission for another mission. So, since we have to pick, might as well go with Hellenic. It is in the area. We have been ruling over some Hellenic lands for quite a few years. Might as well, thematically appropriate and all that. Now, I've actually never played the Hellenic faith. I don't know what's up with this, but I know that, yeah, you can decide to convert to Neterist, which, honestly, I thought was going to be a completely different religion, like a heathen religion, but I guess it is a heretic one. We're not going to do that, though. That's sort of none of our business. I don't think we care. But we do need to start converting some other provinces, which is, of course, why I ended up getting religious ideas. As for the government reform, we are the Kingdom of the Bulgars, which allows for the Horde idea group, which is nice, but it's particularly nice when you're actually playing a horde that can raise. We do also have new estates, of course. We'll hand out all of the point privileges, and whatever else to make them happy. As for reforms, this is, I think, a new one for the mod, maybe? At least I've never seen it before. I think I'll just go with this one, though. Tier 3 reform, I think this one's probably the best. Advisor cost and the tech cost, very nice. Now, I did just take a whole bunch of land, but there's always more land to be taking, and it looks like the Italian Federation is in a bit of trouble. I think they're having their league war right now? Yeah. Clearly one side's gonna win. But anyway, that winner will not be Illyria. I guess now would be as good a time as any to check out what the actual mechanics are for this religion. It seems kind of similar to Catholicism in base game, obviously. Shares quite a few of the mechanics, including a reformation. We need to control demi-archons, which are basically the clergy, or the bishops, rather. When I look at it, actually, I'm pretty sure these are the same as Catholicism. Now that I'm really looking at it, it might literally just be Catholicism. Right down to the -20 AE impact for the Curia controller. We also have holy orders, or, you know, the local organizations, so that's pretty cool. In fact, I wouldn't mind just, like, dropping these everywhere, because that is a lot of base production. Oh, and every province in the state with wine gets an additional 1 base production. Interesting. So they do have a couple of additional effects in the organizations. Every province loses autonomy. The more you put down this, then the more Athenian influence you get. Okay, interesting. Probably still gonna keep Dionysus everywhere, just because, you know, goods produced. That's pretty decent. And I do have a whole lot of Diplo that I can't really use. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. I absolutely can use that Diplo. I can just dev this gold mine, right? Oh, isn't that crazy? Wow. Oh, alright. Okay. Classic. That is a certified EU4 moment. Oh, I've been ostracized. That sucks. That's a real shame. Well, let me drop some invested power into becoming the next Pope guy. There really aren't a lot of options here. Like, how many countries are actually Hellenic? Not a lot. I don't think this ostracization is gonna change much, but, you know, I can buy my indulgence just like a good... I was gonna say Catholic, but no, that doesn't make sense anymore, does it? Why does this timeline have indulgences? How does this even work? I just got an event about Egypt rounding the tip of Africa, and I didn't think much about it because I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Then I thought about it. Why would they... What reason would you have to round the tip of Africa? Like, you can already reach India. It's like, it's just the Red Sea. You can just go right over here. It's really easy for you. I mean, good for them. I don't know why they have exploration ideas. That's pretty cursed. I guess in every timeline there has to be colonial Mamluks at some point, but... Okay. I'd say we're pretty much done this war, and I'm gonna want this, because I want pretty much all the trade centers. I'm gonna want that because it's a fort, and I think I just need like 9 provinces total. Yeah, 9 more provinces. So that should do it. But that's a lot of aggressive expansion. What is this, the HRE? Oh yeah, I guess it is, isn't it? Yeah, okay. That's fair. Forgot Illyria was in that. They did just fight that League war. Do they actually care enough to fight me? Well, I am a betting man. So let's wait a few more days until the nearly the end of December. We'll take all these provinces, which I need for that mission, and money, of course. Unfortunately, I don't have enough governing capacity, so I'm gonna hand some out to, I guess, these guys. That's probably fine. You know what, actually, I can take more crown land back. Let me just hand out more land rights. So I don't forget to, like, leave a slot for them. I'll just use the slot right now. Okay, we've invaded Illyria. We lose 10 years of separatism in the region. That's cool. We get a permaclaim on the entire region, and we're not Punic, so we don't really have to worry about that bottom part. Now, we are going to need a fleet equal or larger than 50, which is, it's a lot, actually. In fact, our naval force limit is 18. I have a couple of transports, 2 galleys, and a light, so, at the very least, I guess we should start updating the navy. For the next reform, if this works exactly like Catholicism, then we are going to want to take this one because that is quite a good benefit. Minus 10% power cost for all the abilities are quite nice. Also, we get more influence, so we might have a better chance of becoming the next... I don't know, I can't even say Pope guy. What is this? Archon? Okay, I can work with that. We are getting a small coalition, you know, just a little one. Shouldn't be a big deal after I ally Gaul, of course. The fact that I'm supposed to be cavalry maxing has somehow completely gone over my head, despite the fact that I have 85% cavalry to infantry ratio and 20% cavalry combat ability. So if I really wanted to, then horde ideas plus aristocratic ideas would go kinda crazy, I can't lie. Pair that up with espionage ideas, and that is like a clean, what is that, 80% cavalry combat ability. So there is quite a lot of horse maxing potential in this country. I will now hire more cavalry. Oh look, another 5%, what do you know? And a stability, well, don't mind if I do. Since we do actually make at least some kind of money now, by which I mean we have the strongest economy from the known world. Not really sure how Ming is doing. They're still intact, so good for them. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention there's also like, okay, we can finish this mission. This one's not as important. This one, that's another 10% cavalry combat ability, and just a flat 0.2 shock. The flanking ability is nice as well. Now, I've been saving up a couple of points because colonialism did spawn all the way over here. So it's never coming to us. That's alright because our capital is incredibly cheap to develop, which is on purpose. I've been trying to make that happen. I think in this mod though, you only get minus 5% from your burghers. I don't think once you reach 80 it changes anything. I think it's like 50 and then 60 or maybe 70, but definitely not 80. So I only get minus 5% from here, which is fine. And with a flick of the wrist, suddenly hundreds of thousands of people have just appeared in the city overnight. Congratulations. We also needed to develop it for this mission, so it's kind of a nice coincidence. That development gave us quite a bit of crown land, which we can sell off as titles, and then we can take that back. And I do need to build a second one of these. Oh, I've been ostracized again. Okay, well, give me a little bit, I'll be back with money, just give me a second. I was so ready to declare war on Macedon, and then I let like 2 days pass, and they joined the coalition, so kind of annoying. I really couldn't be bothered to fight this whole thing right now, so yeah, we're just gonna like give that a bit, I guess. I do have other missions, it's not like I need to invade them right now. We finished up religious ideas, so we'll pick up our missionary strength. Oh, I also didn't actually check any of our decisions. Okay, well we don't need this one. Archon by my own right. I have a feeling that's definitely the same thing as the statute and restraint of appeals for the Catholics. I'm probably not gonna touch that. Might do this though, minus 5% tech cost and tolerance of the true faith. Okay. This? Not sure what it does, but I'll find out. Goods produced for the rest of this guy's lifespan. Okay, that's pretty good. We do have a surprising amount of goods produced, so we're making a decent amount of production. Speaking of increasing production, that's 2,146 ducats, as well as even more goods produced and trade efficiency. We've also finished upgrading our capital. We get a level 1 center of trade in here, which is it's kind of funny considering, you know, it would have been really helpful to have that before we developed. Of course, making this level 2 will give us a 5% discount on that, but it's okay. In fact, from all that money we just received, we can upgrade this to a level 3. Next, we're going to need quite a couple of courthouses, one more temple, and a little bit of admin power. Another random war, not a big deal. But I will say this alliance has been a lot less useful for me than it has been for this guy. But they do have 50,000 troops, and they are helping to ward off the coalition, so I'll keep it. Farm estate is done, so that's gonna increase our cavalry's abilities. Last courthouse is done, meaning we have modernized our nation. We're gonna lose a little bit of government reform progress and a couple of points, but that's okay. Our Kingdom of the Bulgars idea, which we're gonna have to unlock in a little bit, will get upgraded with an additional 25% spread and minus 25% institution cost. And finally, because we have adopted the Hellenic religion, our tech group will change to Greek. Now, you might have noticed we did get a bunch of subjugation CBs. Those are on these countries over this direction, and when we subjugate them, they will of course become actual vassals, not tributaries. That's for this mission over here, where we need to have 3 subjects that are in the Surin Khan culture group, and they together need to have 30 provinces. I don't think that would be too difficult. I think actually if we just go with this guy, and this guy, it should do the job. And since I can't really invade anybody else right now, I might as well. So, this guy, don't really care about, they can just leave. Thank you for randomly rivaling me, Egypt. That's cool. Well, on the bright side, I've been improving relations with everybody in this area, so I should be able to dissolve this coalition pretty soon. Pontus will leave for 1.6 ducats. Nice. And that should be our first subject. That is a lot of aggressive expansion. What are you so upset about? This is, basically teaching them about Hellenism. Like, how can they be upset about that? It's just a small subjugation. You're already basically Hellenic, right? You have the syncretic faith, that's close enough. I can use the prestige I just got from that war to, well, I can pay off the debt, but also I can placate them a little bit. Yeah, that does make a couple people upset at me. That's true. That's also, too bad. Oh, hello there, Ilkhanate. Let's try and continue being friends with this guy. I bet the steppe nomads think they'd have a good time because, you know, horses. They've never seen horses like my horses. You know what? I am gonna sell some titles real quick. Gonna use that to embrace the institution, which I should have done a long time ago. I can pick up all the tax. Oh no. Good thing I still have enough prestige left, because, yeah, goodbye. Oops. That's a shame. We've also gotten a whole bunch of people to leave the coalition now, so that's cool. Yeah, I've kind of been prying the whole thing apart for a while. It's, been really tedious, and a lot of improvements, a lot of gifts, a lot of influenced nations. But we're good now. We're free to invade Macedonia. We're free to probably vassalize more of these countries. And in fact, if I could, I would vassalize this guy too. Unfortunately, I cannot. But I will break their alliances and come back in a couple years. Same thing with this guy, can't vassalize him, that's okay. I'm still gonna have this CB on them for quite a while. In any case, that means I could vassalize this guy. I don't know if I want to, it's very small. That's a lot of aggressive expansion for such a tiny country. Right, yeah, it's a subjugation CB, I can't take stuff unless I do this, and I can't even take anything, or I can't take everything either way, so this is fine. We can get strong duchies. Let's also take some land back, because I did sell it off during that war. And we can only have one rival, the Ilkhanate. I don't know about that. They're kind of friends with me, and I have so much power projection, we don't even have to worry about it. Oh, hey now, hold on a second. Maybe I should pay a little more attention to these missions. I'm already employing level 3 advisors. But what's a philosopher? I don't think we actually care, because we can get a physician. And that also counts, right? Oh, right, philosopher. I know what philosophers are. Am I stupid? Yeah, they're the prestige guys. Okay, we found a natural scientist that we can upgrade, and we already have a physician that we can upgrade. And we need both, so we can do that. And then we also need 1,000 ducats. Okay, that's not going to be too bad, actually. And the min-maxer in me really wants to wait to press this button, because I don't even have an heir. This guy's 53, likely to die at some point, you know? As long as both of these advisors live long enough, this actually isn't an issue. Although, this is, kind of defeating the point, isn't it? The truce with Macedonia is up. Let's cut to the chase, we know why I'm here. Didn't expect you to be, like, literally right here, though. That's kind of awkward. Okay, well, actually, here's an idea. Do you want to try and cross? Do you want to do that, maybe? I wouldn't mind. Come on, it's free real estate. Come on, it's easy to take. Free out there in the open. Who could possibly resist? You're not taking the bait. Okay, alright, fine. It's technically a little off script, but I am going to hand these provinces over to my subject. The Ilkhanate did not like that very much. Well, that's a shame. Anyway, so, Macedon. This would be the peace deal that I actually do want to take. I don't know why so many people are upset about this. It's like, what, 7 provinces? I feel like they're just being dramatic. Oh, another estate. This looks very much like the Dimmies, so I kind of know what I'm doing. Anyway, the main reason I went here was to pick up a sale of titles and see some more crown land. And as much as it pains me to press this button, while it's not going to be the most effective, I'm just going to do it. Because that'll allow me to finish this mission off. It'll give us a university in the capital, which isn't the biggest thing here. Obviously, that is the free policy, free institution growth, and the technology cost. And researching a new technology grants minus 2.5% power cost for 5 years. And if that stacks, that's pretty good. And if it doesn't, well, that's still pretty good. In fact, looking at the coalition, I should probably just grab the next Miltech. That's a clean 311 admin for that tech. And as for a third idea group, I mean, I did say I wanted to like horse max, right? I might as well. Horde ideas would give me 25% cavalry combat ability, so we'll start there. Truce with Caracalla is up, and they're not gonna like it very much, but yeah, I am gonna subjugate them. Actually, you know what I could do? I could just decide to do a holy war, conquer them, and then release them. You know what? I probably will. Ooh, the Ilkhanate likes me. Nice. So they won't join the coalition. Maybe. It depends, because I am about to get a lot more aggressive expansion with them. Don't worry, though, because I can get another minus 10% aggressive expansion. It's not going to fix the problem, but it'll help. Kind of. Alright, this ally, we're actually just going to be looking for as much prestige as possible to help decrease the aggressive expansion. But yeah, the Ilkhanate is not going to be a fan of me. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, I do have my 3 subjects, but I was kind of hoping I'd be able to grab, like, the rest of them, just for thematic reasons. I thought it would be cool. But ultimately, I also don't have, like, much of an interest in this area at all. That would just be to make it cool, and that's it. Instead, though, my idea is that this guy, since he actually likes me, I'm gonna use him to enforce religion. And he's not going to like that, but that's not my problem, because I just needed to use that to start my golden era. It is in fact actually my problem, but only kind of, because I can press this button, and that's going to drop his liberty desire by 50%, in theory. Except it doesn't because he is the religion. That's weird. I don't know why it does that. So if they're already Hellenic, then it just doesn't even give them the government reform? That's kind of rude. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, okay, yeah, I do get 5 diplomatic relationship slots, though, so that's cool. I didn't even read that, to be honest. We get Leader of the Surin Khan, 5 diplo relations, reduced envoy travel time, reduced liberty desire from subject development. Every Surin Khan subject, which, I mean, this is a Surin Khan subject. Yeah, they're in the Surin Khan group. I guess it really is the religion, though. Or possibly it could be the government type. Because when I released them, they were a monarchy, and these 2, because I subjugated them, are not monarchies, or they weren't monarchies. They were still hordes, so maybe that was it. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm getting dangerously close to showing off the entire mission tree, I think. Obviously, there is still the second mission tree path, so go ahead, take a look at that. But I don't want to spoil, like, everything. You know, like, oh, what's bombard cavalries? What would that be about? You gotta figure that out yourself. There is especially one really interesting mechanic that we're not gonna be able to do, but I don't want to spoil it necessarily. If I were playing a slower campaign, not invading as much, it would be possible. And if you boot up the tree yourself, which I am basically explicitly telling you to do at this point, just play it when it's out. Not right now, because I don't think it's out yet by the time this video releases. But when you do, you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, that's what Corbett's talking about. But it's really interesting, so do try the country, even this path, or the other one. Either one is fine. As for a quick review for the end state of this campaign, we do still have a coalition, but it's like a kind of exists, a little bit annoying. Definitely can't kill me. We are on our way to getting another 25% cavalry combat ability. We do have 30% right now. That would bring us up to 55%. As I mentioned earlier, also you could pick up aristocratic ideas. That would be another 15% to bring it up to 70. And then if you went with espionage ideas, both of those would stack with espionage to give you another 20%. So that would be 90% cavalry combat ability. If you were so inclined to do that, which would make sense because, you know, 95% cavalry to infantry ratio, you could do some crazy things with this country if you really wanted to. I'm not sure if I ever actually went over all of the ideas, but they are pretty much just like, here's a bunch of military stuff, now go invade people. Land force limit's a big one. Cavalry combat ability, 20% is actually just absurd. I don't remember what the highest in base game is. I think it's Poland with 33 or something, but still, like, 20% is a lot. Stacking that with years of separatism, like, okay, sure. Morale of armies, land leader shock, this is whatever. Land attrition is actually decent, don't underestimate it. Idea cost, this has also been empowered through our missions. Mill advisor, general cost, army tradition, land maintenance, cavalry cost. It's all for warfare, pretty much. I don't even think I mentioned this part, though. Cavalry's actually cheaper than infantry for us. Somehow sort of just glossed over that, never even mentioned it. Yeah, good times. Good meme. Cheaper in maintenance too than infantry, by the way. Going into this country, I didn't even expect to be doing like cavalry memes, so that's why I like never mentioned it ever, because I didn't even look at it. I wasn't really paying that much attention. But if you want cavalry memes, this is the run for you. Or if you've had your fill of Bulgaria memes today, then I want to thank you for watching to this point in the video. And if you've gotten this far, maybe it's safe to assume that you liked it, maybe, and if, I don't know, possibly you want to represent that by hitting the like button. Maybe that would be neat, thanks. I don't really know where I was going with that, but anyway, yeah, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, thank you. Or subscribe, that would be cool as well. But for now, this is Corbett signing off on Post Finem, and as always, have a fantastic day. Big shout out to the patrons this month, in particular Erica, Lukebecker, Nick Steffel, Cubrute, AG Fodero, Ben Mottram, Quiet Guy, Rosset, Torvald, Ambient Cyan, James Levy, Luke 78776, and Robert. By the way, all of these people also get early access to videos, so if that's something you're interested in, it's literally $1.